In this video, I'm going to show you comments and emails of women who get it, who actually either support or at least theoretically agree with polygamy and or disagree with feminism. So let's investigate.
This is not my world, 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 this is not my world.
These are comments I received on one of my videos, either on the polygamy video or the one on marriage where I talked about feminism and the stupid marriage certificate. So here's one. At first I wanted to slap you, but you know what? I agree with you. I have 2 grown boys, and if any women treated them like that, I would piss on their faces. I'd hope I'd never treat my husband like this. It truly woke me up. I would never want him to treat me this way. Good job. Thank you, Laurie. Holy smokes, man, this is so true. Often I feel a nagging coming up in my spirit to verbally attack my man. I decided long ago I would not get married. I live with my man but still feel like an asshole for some of the things I say to him. But he could Donkey Kong my ass at any moment, given that he is 6.5 and 240 pounds, where I am 5.3 and 130. But my words can be like TNT to him. I have found that the more I stroke his ego, the more things I need him to do get done. I like this video from you. It truly gives me something to think about when communicating not only with my man, but with my son as well. Thanks, Wendy. I do agree that feminism is horrible. Polygamy is totally natural. I've never practiced it, but my sister has. She had nothing but resistance by most around her, although everyone knows it feels right. They are just fucking liars thanks to religion and social programming. I think this is a key point here. Everyone knows it feels right. They are just fucking liars thanks to religion and social programming. Indeed, that's the case, I believe. High five. LCGC family. Okay, so I believe you and I love this video. I have a good man, I'm a good woman. I want him to be the boss, but men these days hand everything over for the woman to do. They have been indoctrinated to believe this is what they have to do, so they do it. Men have to be reverted back, but I doubt that will ever happen. It sucks. Well, it's a good point actually, because the nice guy syndrome is a very rampant syndrome in the world. And of course, this was created by social programming by the parasites. And of course, a man cannot be a boss unless he is a real man. He has his testosterone right. He eats the right things, does the right things, and he's in touch with his true masculine self. That's not always easy, especially when growing up in this feminist society. I brought you 3 books from my bedroom. This is one, this is a classic, you have to read this one, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Whether you are a woman who would like your man to be more masculine and be true to his masculinity, then you can buy this for him. I think he will be happy to read this. Or if you are a man and you want to, improve yourself, I highly recommend you watch this. This is by Robert Glover. Here's another one by John Eldridge, called The Wild at Heart, Discovering the Secret of a Man's Soul. And although this is a Christian book, and I no longer subscribe to the Christian doctrine, but nevertheless, it's a good book about similar things, and it goes more deep into the psyche and the soul and the heart. And this is also an equally very good book by David Deida, The Way of the Superior Man. So I highly recommend you read this if you're a man, or if you're a woman, please buy it for someone, your brother, your husband, your boyfriend. Okay, next comment. Christina Stone. True, while I was caught up in the feminism ideology I was raised with, I was miserable. And oddly enough, allowing myself to be feminine and even allow myself weaknesses, I was fighting against that idea. I finally found emotional relief. We are a traditional family and my husband consults me in all things because he respects me, not because I demand it. And he leads the family because I respect him, and we have a peaceful and loving family 98% of the time. My daughters see this and do not embrace feminism. They know they can be empowered with who they are, not by pretending they need to be equal in the same way as men. Respect is not something one can demand or take. I do think a lot of women are waking up to this deception, but not enough. Perhaps it makes for a good population control. Dumb women will stop having babies and the genetic line will improve. Well, that's a good point actually, because, these dumb women who follow feminism, they are not going into long-term relationships And of course, men won't want to marry them either, so it's good for everyone. It's kind of like a good way of population control, even though, the parasites don't want us to, populate the earth. But in this way, it really kind of like filters out the dumb people, I guess. So she's right in that. And I'm really happy that you are teaching your children the way, in the good way, high five for that as well. I am human. This was on my polygamy video. Looks like you got some trolls from the down below, laughing my ass off. Shite eaters, lol, great video Barnabas. You just keep talking, must be stirring the crap pot pretty good now. Yeah, pretty good. That was one of the videos that got the worst ratio of likes versus dislikes. It was something like 58%. Usually I get about 95 or sometimes 85. But 58 was the worst one. So anyway, thanks for chiming in. Here's an email I received, and I received also permission from these women to publish it. So I know for a fact that the powers that be are trying to destroy as many males as they can, by any means that can, even by using women to help them. Most women, I believe, aren't even aware that they're doing this. Men are the heads of the households, and women were created to be helpers to men and to take care of family and the home. Men are to provide for the family outside the home. The whole world is out of their principle, not doing as they should. Women saying they're equal to males when they will never be equal to males. We are created differently for a reason, and the powers that be are destroying the proper order for their own evil reasons. With thinking males out the way, it makes the way clearer for them. The path of least resistance. It's sad to watch it play out. People just don't think, and when I try to bring it to anyone's attention, I'm the strange one. They are blind even though they have eyes. Well, yes, a good one, thank you. And yes, indeed, this is crazy world we are living in. And, people have eyes but they don't see, obviously. And yeah, this is by the parasites. This is by design. Evil by design. They wanted to destroy the family, and of course they did. Because now, the strong, independent women can do now anything they want to, right? Because that's how it is. And now they are happy. Right? But the problem is they aren't. You can read so many articles when they complain. Yeah, even though we have feminism and we can now work and have voting rights, women are not happy. Well, why the fuck do you think they are not happy? Because they are not doing what they are designed for fuck's sake. Alright, just can't get more ridiculous. And unfortunately there are so little amount of women who get it. There's not much hope for this civilization, honestly. Alright, here's the next one. I might say when I first encountered the whole polygyny topic, I didn't even really realize at all what I had gotten myself into, nor did I want to have anything to do with it if I'm honest. I had been in my first really well-working relationship with a guy back then, one that also seems promising. There'll be some future to it, so I was definitely in love. I was happy, I was focused on one person and surely didn't look for another. Until there was a certain lady walking into my life that I developed a huge crush on. Yet I realized my feelings for my partner hadn't decreased in the last bit because of what I felt toward that other girl. So I was not really sure if I was okay with it. Was I cheating or not, since I did not act on any of it in the slightest. I really like the idea of how you really normally don't love any of your kids more than the others, or a pet or a parent. Yeah, that's the analogy I came up with in my video. Because indeed, you can share your love, you can love multiple people, except when it is the Hollywood programming. Because that must be so true, Hollywood must be true. It must be true. You can only love one person, because Hollywood must be true, right? I had the extreme luck of actually having a partner whose only reaction to my confession was, so what? Few actually, cause I love her too. That was funny. There were no people to talk about this to. I had tried, but all that is in somebody's mind when hearing the words love plus multiple people is a threesome. It's impossible for a woman to talk about that, let alone to other women. You get cold sick because instead of being crazy jealous you support your partner, in his search for another woman. Yet in my opinion, there cannot truly be a greater love than actually supporting your partner with this and trusting he'll come back to you. Indeed, I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just so clear. But of course, it cannot be clear if you are mind programmed by Hollywood. And of course, when I say this, oh, you arrogant bastard Barnabas, what do you think? We are not animals. We are not, whatever, you know. I'm not name calling you. I'm just saying what it is. I see it, you know. My eyes is open to this. And the point I'm making with this video is not just me, not just a fucking man, right? But there are fucking women who see this as well, okay? Isn't there this super sloppy saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours forever. Can't this also be applied here? Men normally aren't all romantic all the time or talking about feelings a lot if they don't get forced by their women, but I have still learned that much yet. If a man by himself honestly tells you a woman he loves her, he most likely really does. That's so funny. I mean, this is really true. It's a genuine letter, and I love it because, you know, men are not romantic, and I think women are not romantic either. It's just done again by the Hollywood programming, and it's called romanticism, which I'm going to talk about in another video. But the point here is that if a man by himself honestly tells you a woman he loves her, he most likely really does. Yes. Let me give you a newsflash here. Men work in the following way. We say things and then we mean it, okay? Whereas women, I learned, I'm not saying all women are like this, you know, don't stone me. But many women say something, but they don't mean it. I don't know how that adds up, but that's what I learned that by living next to a female and also, you know, hearing other men's stories, reading articles and things like that. So people, you know, some bloggers say, for instance, look at what women do and act, not what they say, because what they say is not what it is. So I don't know how that computes again for a female, but it must make sense. But for men, it truly fucking doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, on the flip side, when we say something, we usually really mean it. I mean, when I say I love you, it means I love you. It doesn't mean something else. It just means exactly that. Oh man. I sometimes wonder whether there was a kind of coward social engineering, DNA chain splitting, genetic manipulation, where they kind of like twisted something in the female mind so that they wouldn't understand us men, and maybe something they changed also or twisted in the man's mind. I don't know. So that we are very straightforward, and so we can be so much fucking differently speaking and understanding each other, so that we would have so much misunderstandings and whatnot. I don't even know. It's just mental even to to think about it, but it's quite possible. Then she is his princess, and he will do anything to make her happy. If he honestly confesses his love about some other girl, it does not mean he wants to swap one in for the other. He wants to add the other to his life, make her happy too, make her his princess too. Why does that forcibly have to mean he does not still love the other as much? There we go. That's the truth. She sees it. That's pretty cool. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you want to swap the woman. It just means you wants to add more. Just like, you have, a good drill, you maybe want to get another drill as well. And I know, I'm itemizing here, yes, but I just want to make an analogy. I have a good guitar, a fucking good guitar, and I really love to play guitar. Then I want to have maybe another guitar that is a little bit different, sounds different, feels different. It doesn't mean I don't like my first guitar. It just means I wanted something different. And that's it. Alright? That's how it works. So, you can be hurt by this, but all of your hurt is really just by the Hollywood programming. And if you don't want to accept that, that's fine as well. If you want to, it's just not true. You know, it's a social engineering. Why does that forcibly have to mean he does not still love the other as much? Okay, we read that. There will be no number one or number two for him. He will really love both the same. Yeah. And is that so crazy? Let's be honest. We women are a lot to deal with sometimes. No comment there. Not saying you guys are all easy. No comment there either. Cause you definitely aren't. But seriously, with all the shit that comes with dating a girl nowadays, why would a man want to go through that double if he didn't love them for real? Good question. $1 million question. Smiley. All I say is purely from my talks to my partner, so if it's wrong, I guess it just applies to him and it's unusable here. I guess many men are wired that way when they are honest to themselves. Yes. and here's the interesting part. I'm so pissed off when I got these pussy males commenting under my videos saying, "Oh, you are a jerk. Why would you want to have several wives? It must hurt them." For Jesus Christ's sake. Don't be a pussy. Honestly. What these men are saying is that by saying this, I'm acceptable by women. And I'm needy, of course. I need validation by women. That's what they want, and that's why they have these comments. Maybe his wife is reading his comments on his YouTube because he has to be a good boy, and every step that he takes has to be overviewed by his girlfriend or whore, woman, wife, whatever. Anyway, it's so it pisses me off, really. These pussies. I can kind of understand why that topic is totally undiscussed, especially in comparison to the whole gender agenda. So it's not really easier for them either. It gets kind of completely suppressed. I do not know how it is in all the other parts of the world, but here in Germany, the only place you can openly talk about polygamy are casual dating websites. Most men will go into these casual relationships, not because they really want to, but because that's the only fucking choice they have, right? They would want to add more women to their lives, but it's kind of like shamed upon by their girlfriends, wives, and the society. And even pussy males. Let's add that to the equation. Alright, and there it's all about the intimacy, not about the emotional or social stuff linked to it, or the long-term relationship aspect of it all. Not even talking about the economic benefit of having a large family, and them helping the man's homestead, for instance, or whatever business he's engaged in. A man talking about that somewhere else, at best his guy friends will not take it serious and just make dirty jokes. Most women would say he's needy or just searching for a way to cheat on his partner. Now, cheating is something that is done in secret, right? But if he actually talks about it, he's not really needy. He's actually a very honest person. And, you know, he has the guts and has the balls. And these are the men actually who are being labeled as whatever, you know, needy and cheating. Ridiculous. But she's right. Even though I guess nobody here is a good Christian, most of our country is still Catholic Protestant and our upbringing gets influenced by it. Now, I want to mention something here. Most Christians think that polygamy is kind of like not good according to the Bible. And the Bible condemns it. That's the word I was looking for. Condemns it. Nothing further from the truth. The Bible actually supports it. I could have, you know, probably 10, 20 videos about just this topic, because when I was a Christian, I went into this and I know exactly that the Bible actually supports this. It's such a bullshit, honestly. We get told that the stuff in the Bible is good, that those people there should be our role models, and that we should strive to live like they supposedly did. And there were so many men having multiple wives in the Bible, okay? Yet we should neither be polygamous nor have faith in God whatsoever, and the story of what our world looks like is completely wrong, of course, too. Now, let's read this further. I really like this. To any female listener still angry at you for that video, which is, I guess, I'm not sure exactly which one was it, but I definitely talked about polygamy. But please, to the ladies out there, let's look at the pros and cons before judging. Yes? This is a female talking. It's not me. Okay? It's not me. Pro. Number 1. I've always kind of had a biologist view on all stuff concerning relationships. Our reproduction matters. Try that with polygamy too. Ask yourself a question. What sounds better for genetic diversity? Less birth defects because of unintended inbreeding? One male and one female producing 2+ mixed copies of themselves? What kind of have the same ingredients, just in other doses, so to speak? Hard to bring over what I mean. I hope someone can follow. I think I follow. I hope you do. One male having one or more offspring with, let's say, 3 females, thus producing 3 completely diverse new genetic pools. Wow. A woman can talk about this? Wow. That's pretty true. Exactly. And it is ingrained in us, in man, that we want to have a good, diverse, genetic pool. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. How do we humans do it when we breed animals? Is a female dog bred with the same male every time she is fertile? Or is it another each time? Why is it a pack of lions, wolves, but always just 1 or 2 males surrounded by females? Exactly. I am breeding my own goats, and I know exactly that if I was to breed a male that was kind of like inborn, and then mating with the female, with the mother or, the sister, it's not going to work. There will be some problems. So we try to get new males, strong males, almost every year, for the good genetic pool. That's how it goes. I don't care if this will make me sound like the bad Nazi German. Let's please also compare us dumb, naive Christians to more or less over other culture on this plane. Most of Africa, polygamous, polygynous. Muslims, same. Most indigenous people known to modern day civilization, also mostly men with multiple women. So if a polygamous lifestyle is so damn awful and unhealthy, why do they all stand strong in numbers while we seriously gotta worry about having enough offspring to go extinct in the next 100 years, even without chemtrail spraying and possible wars, crisis taken into consideration? Yes. High five. Alright, that's the plan. Most societies, I read it in the other video, most societies in the world are polygamous. And the minority, I don't remember the percentage, the minority, something like 10 to 20%, is the one that are monogamous. Probably less than 20, I believe. It's just the West. It's just the West that is so fucking stupid, right? So I really think maybe I shouldn't have been born to Europe, for that matter. But yeah, it's totally true. Most people around the world are polygamous, and it works. And they don't die out. They don't go extinct. But the West does. So what the fuck, If you want to go extinct, do it. And go monogamous. All the things in a relationship that are women's duty, you would be 2 or more doing those chores that at least 50% less work for you, right? Laundry, cooking, cleaning, even the standard. He wants sex, you don't. With another girl, there's the option to say, no, thank you, and send him over to the other girl without feeling too awful. I mean, yes, I was talking about this, right? It's actually for the benefit of the woman. Some people even say that it's more beneficial for women than for the man himself. Alright? Just keep that in mind. Try to imagine you fight with your partner. Now you normally are angry at each other for a bit and go to someone else to whine about it. All the while being a bit scared, the other might be so angry, he goes fuck somebody else. When there's another girl waiting at home, why would he go leave you? No, he's just gonna have some fun with your other partner until he's calmed down, and in the evening, you'll all cuddle up in the same bed. I mean, this is it. Yeah, exactly. I don't have a comment. This is from a woman, okay? I didn't edit anything. It's just how she wrote it. Let's be honest, no matter how much they try, sometimes guys don't understand us. And sometimes in the month especially. How about not hiding in the bedroom with ice cream, calling your friends and talking for hours on the phone? Fucking expensive too, by the way. But instead having your best friend right there with you. Wow. Yes. Yes, your co-partner, co-wife, sister wife, whatever you want to call it. The other partners of the man. Yeah, you can be friends with her, and that's good. You know, women like to talk. Men are less of talkers. They don't like to talk. They like to, you know, share activities, for instance. They do talk, but it's not like the kind of like these hour-long talks that women like to do. And if you have a woman, then yeah, you can have that with her, you know? You don't have to have those kind of conversations with a man. And I read these books, you know, how to fulfill some of the needs of women and so on. And there were some good points in that. But one of the things is like, you know, to talk to her, because some women want to talk. You know, it doesn't interest a man. So I think this is not natural. You know, men and women talking together, not really natural. But when there's another woman, you know, they can have all the talks they want, and they can share the chores, and everything can work out fine. I'm not saying it always works, and that polygamy is the solution to everything. I'm not saying that. It's just, I'm saying that the idea that monogamy is the only possible and legal option for a man, that is bullshit. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Activities guys don't like so much, like shopping, for example, or watching those darned romantic movies. You have a girl there to do that stuff with, and he doesn't have to force himself to do it, so it again is a win-win for you both. Again, what I just said. Spend quality time with her and things like that, you know, quality time, and just watch a fucking movie that you really don't want to watch. Well, if there are women, they'll watch it. No problem. Deal done. So easy. Okay, number 6. Yeah, that is a con for most girls, women I guess, but look at it from a sexual experimental point of view. You get to try being with a girl, and if you are into porn, you get some for free with your favorite actors in it too. Alright, no comment on that. Okay, number 7. Even if breeding sounds so awful, that term is so fitting. Let's say you are a couple and you actually want to spend the rest of your life together, popping out kids to repopulate, then you will still have downtimes forced on you by nature, where you will not be able to procreate, female cycle, not fertile while still nursing the infant. But if there would be another girl there, well, it sounds like a serial production. But whenever one is down, take the other, so to speak. My boyfriend said I might leave 7 out, your decision. I definitely leave this in, it's good. The cons. Number 1. You are one more person, so you will need to calculate some investments at the start of a polygamous relationship, such as a new bigger bed sofa, /sofa. I think she meant to say bed /sofa, additional dishes, maybe a bigger car, apartment, property, and if you're gamers altogether, another console and TV, etc. Right. Now, when I was moving to this house where I live now in Hungary, and I still had my car from the UK, I was joking to my wife, and it was so funny that when I have more women, then I will have to buy a bus. So yeah, there may be initial investments, but the thing is, as far as I heard from other men who live in a polygamous relationship, the economy gets much better, and it's basically you become wealthier because all the women and all the offspring can actually contribute to your wealth. And it's not the other way around. It's actually you get more wealthy than becoming more poor. Okay? If that makes sense. Right. And I guess that's it. Alright? These were women talking. I guess I have one more. Let's read that. Alright, so here's the next one. Why don't men marry anymore? So this was concerning my video on marriage certificate and why men don't want to marry anymore. But I also talked there about polygamy. So anyway, why don't they even want committed relationships either? I think these days, due to equality and feminism, that everyone is out for what they can get. Feminism has created a female population that actually, in most cases, still wants marriage, security, children, but also the addition of a full-time job, big salaries, and all the things now available to us as a society. They also want to be able to sleep around like men do. I think they've made a road for their own backs. Once upon a time, all women were marriage material. These days, there are two types. The ones men just want to sleep with, and the ones they want to marry. Exactly. That's well put by a woman. I'm so, I don't even know what to say. It's like, I'm really surprised that there are women who see this and get it. And back to what you said here, women want to have all these things. They want to marry. But back then, when women were marrying without feminism, they knew that a marriage entails lots of things like, household chores, and that is kind of like included in the package because that's what a man wants. A man wants to have his women, help him around the house or in his business or whatever he's engaged in. Now, this is not the case because women want to go to have a career because they can. It doesn't mean that it's better, but they can. Now, they can because they were so much repressed, right? By those misogynist men who didn't let them work. Oh, let's cry now. And now they can work, but then they realize, I actually can't have time for my man. I can't have time for my children. So my children are given to the government and the government schools where they program them, which is the plan. That's why they created this. And then, these women are crying out, like, what to do? Oh, what can I do? Well, first of all, don't become a fucking feminist. And that doesn't just mean that you have a label, that you are a feminist and go to the marches of the feminists. No, it's about thinking. If you follow the monogamy agenda, you're basically already a feminist, kind of like. It's not like 100%, but that's the idea is from that, Feminism created the idea of monogamy, kind of. It's all interconnected. And, of course, women wanted the same thing because now they can. But just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you have to, and it is good, right? Just because I can crash this glass, which is my computer glass. I don't need glasses. I have good eyes. It's just for the long hours when I'm editing videos and stuff like that. Just because I can crash this glass, it doesn't mean that I should, or it would be a good idea to do that. Now, because women can now work and can have a career and can sleep around, now they do, because now they are free, right? Free, strong, independent women, and yet feeling like shit. Interesting. Well, do that, girls. Do it. By all means, do it. Do all that you can and feel like shit. The Disney thing. Yes, I grew up wanting the prince on the white horse, the house with 2 kids and a white picket fence. In New Zealand, you only need to live together for 2 years and the woman takes half of everything unless prenuptials are signed, which seems to be the norm these days. Men protect themselves and I don't blame them. Yes, men have to protect themselves. And for fuck's sake, don't sign that paper if you can. Now, there are exceptions when a man may want to sign that paper only if you know that the woman is really trustworthy and then, sign as she said, prenuptial. That's important. Alright. I also discovered there are two types of men. The ones who like their women to support themselves, and the old-fashioned ones who still believe the man is the provider, etc. Only this falls down now with so many split marriages in Western society these days. Second time around, relationships where the man and the women go into a commitment scenario with their own wealth, children and baggage, LOL. The breakdown of the family unit is so evident. I think men are more aware because of this and are less willing to commit and or marry. I wouldn't want to be a guy. I do believe the anti-man agenda exists. It's been created through feminism, but we as women fell into the trap. Indeed, it's a trap. And yes, it's pretty fucked up to be a man. In fact, the worst thing you can be on this earth is a white male. Yeah, we are ostracized and we are taken advantage of, and the legal system is against us. The polygamy thing. I do agree that men are not meant for monogamy as an animal species, but not sure it would work for me, LOL. It's something that may very well be better for society, but it would take a few generations of brainwashing Barnabas. But as you say, better for population growth. So even though she wouldn't want it for herself, which, again, she even admits that it's probably due to some of the brainwashing of Hollywood, she sees that, most men are not meant for monogamy, and it is better for population growth. So I think that that sums it up, and I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions about monogamy, polygamy, please let me know in the comments below, and see you on the next one.
I'm just longing night by night for the other side to be alright, 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 alright.